Okay, thanks everyone. For the last 2 minutes, I just kept thinking I'm going to trip over that, and I didn't. Okay, my name's Jim Rowe, and I work full-time helping people develop messenger bots, chatbots, virtual assistants, digital helpers, whatever you want to call them. But primarily, I help them sell using Messenger. So I set off at 4:45 this morning to get down here. So if I seem a bit low energy, it'll start to pick up as I get into my rhythm. So a little about me. I came across messenger bots probably mid-2015. Saw a lot of it happening in the States. Didn't know a lot about it. Started exploring. There was no books on it. There's not a lot of books on it now. I'm currently writing one. There wasn't a lot of blogs about it. And I just started really just kind of playing around with the ideas of how you could use it. Then in 2016, I had a contract with a startup in Exeter, which was a YouTube Creators Academy. And we knew that we needed to reach out to mums and dads who wanted something different for their children than the typical karate, taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, dance, whatever those clubs might be, for the kids that wanted to be young creators. And straight away, we knew that Messenger was going to be the way to hit that market and get them and educate them to what that service was going to be. It was like a subscription, monthly subscription service. And they would come to a venue and they'd learn how to create video. And it worked amazingly well. Our target was to get 80 to 100 families through the door on day one. This is 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. Solidly for 8 hours, over 350 families. We signed up the academy full that day, in one day. We weren't expecting it. It was a lot of hard work after that. But then, I was hooked. And I knew that once I finished this contract, I was going to move into messenger marketing full-time. So I've been building chatbots and doing messenger marketing since January 2016. It's moved on a lot. Messenger, you know itself, version 4. There was a big update yesterday, day before, which people aren't happy about, especially not within the chatbot world, because a lot of APIs have stopped working. I've designed and built more than 300 chatbots for clients. I stopped counting, really, at about 200. It was just getting ridiculous. And I'm also a certified conversational designer. There's a company based out in Holland called Robo-copy.io. And they are the only people I know of that offer a certification. And I've recently worked through that, and it's taken my conversational design skills right up there. It's about marrying technology, copywriting, and customer psychology. Really amazing. You know, if you're interested in exploring conversational design, whether it's for messenger marketing, any other kind of chatbots, whether it's Slack or Line or any of the other places you can do it, and even voice devices, so your Alexas and your Googles, then a conversational design certification will move you a long way. I'm also a ManyChat. Some of you may have heard of that product. I'm a partner of theirs. I'm a ManyChat expert, and I'm also an educator. So it just means I get access to training materials and a few little other goodies that they give me. When I started, I tried lots of different platforms for building on. Some of you would have used them, Mobile Monkey, Chatfuel. There were so many at the time. There was, I think, probably 25 on the market when I started looking. I think there's a few leaders at the moment. I stuck with ManyChat. The software's great. You don't have to be too technical. I can hand it over to clients, which I really love. But the community, the Facebook group, the community behind that product is fantastic. And they've actually pushed the development of the product further. So what to expect during our hour together. So I'm going to speak in truth about messenger and chatbots and messenger marketing. I'm not an evangelist for Facebook, far from it. They annoy me. They keep changing the rules around messenger marketing and the policies. In fact, a policy change has gone live today, which has had quite an impact on how we're going to use messaging in the future. I'm going to talk about some of the pitfalls and the opportunities. I see a lot of people start to do messenger marketing, but they just focus on totally the wrong area. Should be focusing on lead generation and sales, and people that really don't need to start focusing on a customer service bot, which is not, for most of us, that's not where we need to start. going to provide you with some actionable information that you can take away and do today. It will take you 2 hours at maximum, first time ever doing it, and you'll make your messenger a better tool for your business. And then I've allowed a little bit of time at the end for some questions. There always is around messenger marketing. As Matt said, there's not a lot of us traveling around speaking. I'm very lucky. I got picked up a couple of years ago by Chartered Institute of PR, AI in PR event, spoke at that, and then off the back of that, I just keep getting these speaking gigs, and I'm starting to get them in Europe now. Anybody knows anybody in America and wants me to speak? I haven't spoke there yet. I'd like to. But as Matt was saying, America, I'd say they're 18 months to 2 years ahead of us in terms of messenger marketing. I get Americans contacting me to build their bots. I've just built one for a shopping centre, which is out in New Zealand. For some reason, they just get it. And here in the UK, people have been a bit slow to pick up on what's really happening within the Facebook ecosystem. Mark Zuckerberg said if he was designing a people-focused, secure social network today, it would be Messenger. He wouldn't create Facebook, he would create Messenger. Anybody use WeChat? Any hands going up? That's kind of where I see Messenger perhaps going. This service-driven chat app, and you can do everything on WeChat. You know, they pay their bills, they sign up for things, they buy tickets. It's just an all-in-one place to get access to services with little friction. So, what is it first? Now, I didn't write this. I searched around, read about 20 different definitions of what messenger marketing was, and this is the one that resonated with me. So it's the act of leveraging mobile chat platforms to facilitate conversation with prospects and customers. So prospects, the lead generation, customer, upsells, resales, and obviously the customer service side. So why would you want to use messenger marketing? Well, the main reason is people bloody love it. Can I just have a show of hands who's got Messenger on their phone? There's a couple that haven't. That's fine, I get that. But most people seem to have Messenger now. And has anybody else got another chat app? Show your hands if you've got another chat app. Yeah, so this kind of fits. There are more installs of chat apps around the world than there are mobile phones, because people have 2, 3, maybe even 4 different chat apps. We like it. We like it because it's frictionless. It's easy. It's the fastest growing form of person-to-person communication. And if you think back, when people started communicating, writing letters to each other, what did businesses do? Start writing letters to you. When people started phoning each other, what did businesses do? Start harassing us on phone. When people started emailing each other, what did businesses do? Bloody start spamming us. So what's going to happen with chat? And I'm not just talking about Messenger, I'm talking about chat in general. Businesses are going to start leveraging that platform. Customers love it. They love the simplicity of it. They love how easy it is. There's a lot of formality in it, writing an email, even to a friend. You know, there's bits you put at the beginning, by default, hey you. There's bits you put at the end, kind regards. There's a lot of faff with email, especially for me, because I deal with all my customers really on Messenger. Once they become a customer, we don't use email anymore. It's got power to influence and really to change behaviors. There's something, and a customer said this to me, there's something different about having a conversation. An email is not a conversation. It doesn't feel like a natural conversation. It hasn't got the pace. It hasn't got the backwards and forwards. It feels too structured. It feels odd. It doesn't feel natural. But when you're chatting, there's just a natural feel to it. There's a lot of backwards and forth. It closely resembles two people stood face to face having a chat. So people love it. You get real-time feedback, and I'm talking about when you're messenger marketing or you've got a customer service bot. If you get it wrong, you know straight away. Somebody gets something wrong on an email, you send out a big email campaign, and you get something wrong in that email, nobody messages you back. You might get the odd one. But you do it on chat and you make a mistake, or you get something wrong, or you've hit the wrong market with the wrong offer, you know straight away. And it's a one-to-one conversation. It's personalized. When you send it, we've all had these. I get these all the time on LinkedIn when somebody uses some kind of LinkedIn selling tool, and it comes up, dear first name, because the system hasn't worked, so you know it doesn't feel personalized. Because of Facebook's real name policy, that never happens. It always comes up with the name that's on their profile. So that's kind of the main reasons I see that people love Messenger, and I think the fact that it's multimedia and our speeds are getting quicker on our phones. I'm sure there's plenty of people in here now that deal with their customers on Messenger or other chat apps, and less of it on email. Nice, quick backwards and forwards. But it's very similar to email, and I see this a lot with Messenger marketers. In all the articles, they just say, it's not email, it's not email, it's not email. It's bloody like email. Okay, it's like email in every feeling about it is like email, apart from it's conversational. So you build lists of subscribers, just like you do in email. You can do list building and segment those lists out, just like you do in email. There's an opt-in and opt-out. It's GDPR compliant, just like email should be. It's easy to do. You can go online, and within a couple of hours, you can put your first basic little Messenger marketing campaign together. It's really not difficult. The technical side of building, I actually found it quicker than using MailChimp. I just found the process was just much, much simpler. But it's difficult to master, and I see this all the time. I test, I don't know, 10 chatbots a day. I'm just constantly, if I arrive at a Facebook page, I hit the message button just to see if they've got a chatbot. If I see that blue Get Started button, I know they have. I click on that Get Started button. I test it. I have tested, I don't know, over 500 probably. I just test them all the time, looking at what people do and what they're trying to achieve. I then end up on their list, and then they start banging their marketing out to me. But it can be difficult to master, and mostly around understanding customer behavior and this new way of marketing to them. It's a little bit different from email. Don't get me wrong, I still think email's amazing, and more people have got email than people have got Messenger, let's be honest. Email just doesn't get the attention that it once did. I knew a guy that made his millions off email marketing, and his income has just dipped. Luckily, he went into other things. But where I see us now with messengers, we're just at the forefront of it's just starting to come here in the UK. Even in some of the countries in Europe, they're a little bit ahead of us. You can also integrate your messenger marketing strategies into landing pages. ManyChat itself has got a specific little landing page. I don't like it. I think it looks amateur. But you can soon drop links, buttons, whatever you need to do, pop-ups, links that go at the end of bits of video, all the stuff that you would do with your normal lead magnets, you can do with Messenger. The segmentation. Because you're having a conversation, and if you ask the right questions at the beginning of that conversation so you know the intent, you can really segment a lot better than you can in email. So, for instance, one of the kind of core industries I like to work with is like family-friendly events, like trampoline parks and holiday parks and people like that. When those people come to Messenger and they ask a question and you ask a question back, that is good data if you get it right. And that data straight away segments that purpose. How many children have they got? How long do they want to come for? All these things that they ask and all these questions, you can then start to segment them automatically or manually. One thing about segmentation. I'm going to talk shortly about sponsored messages, which I've seen people are starting to use now within messenger marketing. I think it's one of the most powerful ad types that Facebook have got at the moment. It's massively underused. It's so bloody cheap, a lot cheaper than many of their other Facebook ad types. If you want to segment in Facebook, so you've built up 2,000 people on your messenger marketing list, and you go into Facebook and you go to that custom audience, send this sponsored message to everybody that's messaged my page, that is your only option at the moment. So you can't really segment within Facebook. However, I don't know about the other platforms, but within ManyChat, because you're tagging them as they go through the conversation, you can then do it to a segment of that audience. Facebook say that audience should be 1,000 people. I've tested it, and it can be 200 people. It can be as low as 200 people. And you can also do autoresponders. That's a great way of marketing to people. So you have a piece of content, they click, and they get additional content. They get dragged into your other funnels that you may have. Anything that you did or still do with email, you can do with Messenger in terms of lead generation. Integration. Now, this is growing at a pace. I'm sure some of you have heard of products like Integramat and Zapier. Similar products. I prefer Integramat, but I get Zapier, or Zapier as some people call it. You can do some really clever integration. So if you want to do kind of lead management, someone comes in through your chat, they select a certain button, they say a certain thing. You can then take that lead from straight into your active campaign and start them in your lead generation process. I've seen some really clever stuff. Whatever CRM you've got, you can integrate your Messenger with. I'm doing it at the moment with a client who's using Capsule CRM. I've done it with Zoho as well. Zoho works really well. You can do scheduling, just like you can with email. So you can get your campaigns ready, you can get them scheduled. You can have people click a button and then delay that so they don't get that bit of content for another 24 hours, for example. Everybody focuses when they talk about Messenger, and if you search for Messenger marketing, the first thing that comes up talks about open rates and click-through rates. Yes, just like email. And everybody will focus on these open rates of 80% plus, and the click-through rates. If I get below 40%, I'm normally quite disappointed. It does all of that stuff, but what I really like about it within conversational marketing is you can follow it through the conversation. So within an email, you'll have your call to action, and you can see which people have clicked on those. Same with the conversational design. You can see what route people took along the conversation, what they were interested in, what they weren't interested in, and then you know better how to market to them later, again, on Messenger. And calls to action. That predominantly within Messenger at the moment can be a button, but actually I found that not having the immediate call to action in Messenger but taking them to somewhere else is a better option. Depends on what your strategy is. If you're selling £20 T-shirts, sell £20 T-shirts from directly within Messenger. It's really easy. Stripe account, PayPal, whatever, and they can just buy it there and then. So let's talk about Messenger subscribers and how they're a little bit different, and Facebook are really strict on their kind of GDPR stuff within Messenger. So once somebody sends your business a message, predominantly it's going to be through your Facebook page. They're going to hit the send message button. Who has the send message? Show me your hands if you've got the send message button on your Facebook as your primary button. Yeah, that's what I see everywhere. Often it'll be make an appointment. I think the other one is something like email or something. For some reason, people really aren't focused on having conversations with customers, and they need to perhaps flick that on its head a little bit. So they message, they immediately become a subscriber. They can unsubscribe at any time just by typing stop, and resubscribe just by typing start. Really simple. From experience, anybody that unsubscribes never comes back and types start to resubscribe. They just don't remember. They're not interested. If they've unsubscribed, normally you've done something wrong. You've sent them something you shouldn't have done. You're sending too much. Or they come in, they wanted to just check out your bot, and then they went. If they do unsubscribe, and this is the one that people don't get, if they do unsubscribe, they are still a Messenger connection. I'll say that again. If they unsubscribe, they are still a Messenger connection. As a business, I can't go into Messenger and send a broadcast to them or subscribe them into a flow or a sequence, but I can go into Facebook ads and hit them with a sponsored message. So this is a number from a recent client. They had 1,600 and something subscribers in ManyChat, but they got 2,438 messaging connections. So they can use their Facebook advertising and hit that whole audience. When you get back, go into your settings, insights, and down in the bottom left-hand corner, you can't do it on a mobile, you can only do it on a desktop. Bottom left-hand corner, there's one called messaging. Nobody ever looks at it. And that figure will be in there. And you can see how your messaging is growing. So one of the things I'd say is focus on trying to get more people communicating with your business. Build that number because it gives you a fantastic channel, sponsored messages. There are actually 4 ad types within Messenger, but sponsored messages is the one where we're seeing the greatest impact. So where it does slightly differ is that Messenger's got the attention at the moment. We're all a bit tired of email. I think LinkedIn's getting a bit like that. I don't know about anybody else, but just LinkedIn at the moment, it's just people just pitching all the time. It's just getting a bit tired, a bit like email was. Messenger, you don't see much of that. You can try it, and has anybody tried pitching to businesses on Messenger? You get to 10, basically Facebook knows what you're doing, and they stop you. And they stop you sending messages to business, and they'll stop you for a day or two, and then they catch you again. They'll stop you for a bit longer. In my early days, I used to just try and pitch to businesses that I wanted to help with chatbots. Doesn't work. Facebook want to make money, obviously. And the other major difference is it's conversation-driven. And this is the bit that catches people out. They put their messaging campaigns together, and they send it just like they would send an email. A massive block of text, a call to action. It doesn't work. There's no backwards and forwards. They start it like they would start an email, dear first name, and they end it with kind regards because they think they use an email. They're so used to it, that's all they've ever done. But actually, conversational design means that you can have a really meaningful conversation with people, and people will look forward to hearing from you, which they don't on email. So a little task for you is just look at some of the local brands around where you live, go to their Facebook page. If send message is not the primary button, then normally there's a little messenger icon next to it, especially on mobile. Click that and just see if they've got a bot. If they've got a bot, test it. Sometimes you might have to type something first, and then you'll get, I see this all the time, and I detest it, you get an out of office on Messenger. Hands up, who's got an out of office message on Messenger for their business? Yeah, at least some people admitted it. There's a lot more than you realize, because I test so many, I know. So let's talk about conversation. So Facebook, this is actually from Facebook's Messenger page, and I thought I explained it perfectly, is you've got the awareness, consideration, transaction, and kind of relationship part of any kind of sales process, digital sales process. So you've got the awareness. Now, the awareness can be that they've been referred to your business within Facebook, somebody's tagged your business, it can be off an ad, it can be a million and one ways, printed media, whatever it is. They arrive at your Facebook, they start having a conversation with your brand, and they'll get a bit of awareness. If you're expecting people that arrive at your business Facebook page to trawl through all of your posts, it ain't happening. People don't do it. They'll have a quick look. That's why sometimes you need to have something big at the beginning of your Facebook page to capture people's attention and draw them in. But people predominantly don't go searching down your content. They haven't got the time. They haven't got the inclination. What they want to do is they want to just hit send messenger and ask if you do something or if you're available to chat. So they get the awareness. They've had a little conversation with you. They learn a bit about you through conversation, not through having to trawl through loads of website content. They then can start to get into more conversation. Which product's right for me? Have you got that in an Excel? Then you get to the buy-in, and as I was saying, you can buy from within Messenger. The only stipulation that Facebook say, and I'm sorry for most entrepreneurs, is you can't sell digital products in Messenger. That's easy. When they buy your digital product, you just add a physical product in with it, send them a key ring. Just put something physical within your product. You can do the transaction. At the moment, if you want to do subscription-type transaction, you're going to have to integrate with something else. Send them out to PayPal. I do this with a couple of clients. Send them out to PayPal. They complete their subscription. I've got some health and wellness clients that do this. They sign up, and then they drop back into the bot. And then they'll go to Calendly. So they pop back out to Calendly. Then they'll make an appointment. They drop back into the bot. Selling within Messenger is moving on, but it's still a little bit clunky. If you've got Stripe, it works, and now they support PayPal as well. But from what I can see, they only support single items. So if you wanted to buy 5 T-shirts, you'd have to do it 5 times, which is a bit silly, really. So sometimes you just got to pop them out the bot and then pop them back in to send them bits. And obviously, once they've bought, you can send them their shipping stuff, receipts, invoices, whatever it is you need to do. And then there's relationships. And I think this is where Messenger is really strong, is that once people have purchased and they've had a conversation before they purchased, you can drive more purchases through more conversation. You know what products they like. You know what they were asking about, what they were interested in. You've either automatically or manually segmented them. They were interested in that band or those gigs or that event or whatever it is. You tag them in the background, and then you can just remarket to them again in Messenger. Has anybody in here received a sponsored message in Messenger? I'm not on about a Messenger ad. I'm on about sponsored message. Yeah. Where people fall down with this, it doesn't look like an ad. So most of you have probably received one at some time. It just, honest to God, does not look like an advert, and I think that's why they're such high impact. Okay, so very much like email, if you're going to do messenger marketing, it needs to be campaign-based. And I'm going to take this as an example, an event, because I do like doing events in terms of Messenger. You have your normal website, pre-event, ticket's not available yet, coming soon. You give a bit of information on the landing page, and then what you do is you get them to opt in. So they opt into Messenger for further updates about the event. And that opt-in is really frictionless. It's literally the click of a button. They get a little message in Messenger saying, thanks for opting in to receive information about this upcoming event. Facebook introduced something a week ago, it's definitely live today, called the one-time notification. I won't explain in too much detail, but they can click this button, notify me when there's more details, basically. I've been testing it with a couple of clients. This one-time notification works really, really well. So you can re-engage them for free, rather than having to export that, take that segmented audience that are interested and then send a sponsored message to them because you want to update them on the event and with the offers. Whatever your campaign is, it can start on email, it can start on web, it can start on SMS. Anywhere you would normally start an email campaign, you can start a Messenger campaign. Messenger give you loads of kind of input points. ManyChat call them growth tools. Other platforms call them different names. So the one that I tend to use the most with most clients is just a URL. So you create the conversation, you connect a URL to it, and then you can put that URL wherever you want. It can go in the footer of your email, body of your email. It can go on a web page. It can go in an SMS. Wherever you would normally put a link, you can put your Messenger link. Once they've opted in, and you tell them they've opted in, GDPR compliant, what they've opted in for, you can then re-engage with them. So this event's coming up. Pre-sales are going to start on such and such a day for EMC2020. Yeah, yes, opt in. I want to be notified when those pre-sale tickets go available. Those tickets might be available for people that have already signed up for this event first, 48 hours before anybody else. I don't know what he's got planned. They would opt in. Obviously, you're building a list of past customers. They hit the button to be notified. 48, 7, 28 days, whatever. They get a message saying tickets available now. It's very conversational. It makes the sales process feel quite friendly and nice and warm, which email sometimes definitely doesn't feel warm and friendly and helpful, where conversation does feel warm and friendly. And then, if they don't sell, you know that you haven't sold to them. Because if they click the buy button, you can tag them. They would pop out, sell the ticket, pop back into the bar, apply a tag, purchased. So then when you do your re-engagement campaign, you're going to send it to the people that haven't got the tag, purchased. And it's just a really nice way. The stats are fantastic. You can see how far they get in. And at any time, as a human, you can jump in and take over that conversation. Something that a lot of people don't do, and I see this with my clients, is they're afraid to jump in and take over the conversation. They rely on the bot to do all the work for them. And unless you're spending £10,000 on a super-duper AI-driven bot, you're going to need to pop in as a human now and again. So there's three key areas where people are using bots. Customer service, which I spoke about earlier. Lead generation, which is the bit I really enjoy because it works. And then re-engagement, so that's re-engaging, sale or no sale. We know that people don't buy often on first touch. They need to be re-engaged. So customer service first. Let's get this one over and done with. This is where I see everybody focusing. Whenever I come across a chatbot that's on somebody's page, they kind of try to create a customer service chatbot. It doesn't really need to be. It just needs to welcome people and perhaps a little bit of education about their service. It doesn't need to be any more than that. Unless you've got a really high traffic Facebook page. If you have someone like Lego or Gucci or whatever brand it is, it's not going to be Gucci, but whatever brand it is, are getting a lot of contact through their messenger. And I see this a lot with kind of trampoline parks is a big one, roller disco, cinemas. It always seems to be kind of family-friendly places where people have got loads of questions. Oh, my son's in a wheelchair, you know, where can I park? Or we're coming to this event and I've got a service dog, can I bring it along? You know, really random questions that they may be asking. But you know where those questions are. I work a lot with shopping centres. I've got 4 live at the moment, one in New Zealand. And there's only 10 questions that people ever ask at a shopping centre. And you know what they are. What time do you open? What time do you close? What stores have you got? When's your parking open? When's your parking closed? How much does your parking cost? Can I leave my car overnight? It's 10 questions. That's all it is. So you can really program those in. It doesn't need to be a £10,000 chatbot. If you've got a high traffic page that people are having to manage and they're having to give the same answers over and over and over again, it's worth investing in a customer service chatbot. For most of us, especially in the entrepreneurial world, you don't need it. What you need is you welcome them in, have a little chat, automated, offer them something. Just offer them a download, offer them a coupon, whatever it might be, just to kind of get them into your sales flow. So this is LED Leisure, company down in Devon. They've got 19 leisure facilities. They bought them off the Devon and Cornwall councils, and basically it's a management firm that look after these places. And there, I help them create their chatbot. It has in excess of 1,000 conversations a month. It's freed them up a lot of time. That was one person. The social media manager was having to look after all these conversations, and they're really random. All these different conversations that were coming through on their messenger, their email just dropped off and their messages just went crazy, literally within 6 months. So we built them a very simple chatbot, and it answers automatically around about 30 to 40% of all the questions. Again, there's not a lot of questions that people have got. It's very similar. This is why it works. So they come in, they get a welcome message, and we're going to talk about a welcome message in a minute. We then give them an option to speak to a human, because some people just do not want to speak to a chatbot. And we decided with their strategy, we'd put that right up front. I actually wanted to put it one behind, a little bit deeper in the conversation. But they wanted it at the beginning. And I think actually if we'd put it a little bit deeper in the conversation, that percentage of automated responses and queries that are handled by the chatbot would be much higher. And then there's just a continue. Then they can go in, they can pick where they are, South Devon, Cornwall, whatever, and then it educates them about what events they can do, more details, and how to sign up for. Primarily, what they want people to do is sign up for a membership. That's the sales thing. So you want to create a simple personal introduction to the business, which we call the welcome message. The next thing I want people to start doing, and not many people do this, and if they do it, it's done wrong, is when you're putting a Facebook post together, there's an option that says get messages. Just use that button, and I'll explain a bit more about that later, because you want to start driving conversation. And then ensure you've built a follow-up process, whether that's manual or automated. So they come in, they hit your welcome message, they continue, start to learn about the services and the business and products. Then you need to drop them into a kind of process. In the entrepreneurial world, I work a lot with people in health and nutrition. What they'll have to do is they'll come in, little introduction to the programs, products, whatever it is they sell, and then some call to action. If they don't purchase, what it does is it just drops them into a sequence of messages then. Perhaps drops them into some remarketing, other little bits of content, offers them a download. Same kind, yeah, it's all the same lead magnet stuff that you would do in email, but done conversationally. So, this is what at the beginning when I said about having out of office and different types of message. So I picked these up yesterday because I always try and make them relevant. So University of Brighton. Anybody know anybody that works at the University of Brighton? No? Okay. So University of Brighton, if you click on their send message button, you get these frequently asked questions pop up. A lot of people don't know that you can change these, but there are some typical ones. And it comes up and it prompts the person to click on these. How much does a course cost? What kind of fucking question is that? They probably offered 600 courses. Doesn't make any sense. Why is that question even there? Because they don't know what they're doing. Can you tell me more about your educational institution? Who says that? Okay, shouldn't be there. Are you accepting new students? Of course they are. They're always accepting new students. They want to make money. Where are you located? University of Brighton. Okay. You can fix this. Well, you can fix that bit in 2 minutes, but you can turn it into what LED have got within 2 hours. Quite easily done. University of Brighton, if somebody is messaging that page, they're either messaging because they've got a problem with a parent and a student or student issues, or somebody wants to know about courses or sell them something. But I think the problem there too. As soon as you know which one that is, if it's a student issue, I don't know what they call it, if it's a student issue, you're going to pass it straight over to a human. You don't want a chatbot dealing with student issues, do you? That could get well out of hand. But the other thing is, it's a sales opportunity. Use the bot to greet them, give them an option to download a prospectus, and then just say, we've got some really exciting updates coming to our courses. Would you like us to send you some details? That's all it needs to say. And it said, yes, notify me. They click the button, straight away you've segmented those people that are looking to buy. And then you drop them into whatever your marketing campaign might be. You might just drag them over to your CRM, start emailing them, texting them, whatever it is. Another key piece of information with ManyChat, I don't know about the others. I'm not an evangelist for ManyChat, it's just the one I use. ManyChat now supports email as well, so you can send emails and Messenger. And what's supposed to be today, but in the next couple of days, weeks, they'll also allow you to do text messaging. If you want to see real high impact, the open rate on text messages is 94% currently, as of today. So let's look at the second one, Brighton Dome. Anybody know anybody from Brighton Dome? Always worried that somebody's going to be in from the marketing team on one of these. So Brighton Dome, this is the one I hate. You click on to message the button, nothing. Doesn't say hello, doesn't tell you what to do. It just sits there waiting for me to think of something. And if you're waiting for a customer to think of something, they're not going to think of something. The next one, I couldn't find one of these examples around Brighton, so I just typed Brighton into Facebook and just basically clicked on the send message button of loads of different businesses. So I had to pick this one up from Nottingham, where I'm from. The out-of-office message. Out-of-office message. So somebody wants to have a conversation with you in Messenger. Remember, this is a chat app. This is instant chat. And you're sending an out-of-office message. Bloody ridiculous. Again, theirs was blank, and I just typed, hey. And that was the message I got. Actually, 2 hours later, I was no longer interested. I did get a human pop up and message me back. And it just said, how can we help? The moment's gone. With Messenger, the moment goes really quickly. And then finally, LED. I had to put one of mine up, didn't I? So LED, nice introduction, not too lengthy. It's got the 5 parts to a good welcome message. And then a little instruction of what to do next. Speak to human or continue. Test that one out if you like. They won't mind. I think the service they offer is really, really, really good. I'd like to take theirs to the next level, but they're just, there's one person in that social media team for those 19 sites. It's just so under-resourced, but at least that's helped in some way. We put that together in 6 weeks. There's a lot of to-ing and fro-ing. There's a lot of decision makers within that business. And getting the tone right was quite difficult because they've still got that kind of council mentality. So they kept trying to make it really formal, and I was trying to relax it because it's people wanting to know what time they can go swimming. Simple questions. Okay. So this is kind of what you can do in 2 hours post this. You could do it over the lunch break, to be honest. It doesn't take long. Sign up for one of the platforms, ManyChat, Mobile Monkey, Chatfuel, whichever you like. Play around with them. I don't care. I don't get any money from ManyChat. I've got an affiliate link, but it's like $10. It's not even worth the time. And all you need to do is build yourself a welcome message. Use LED as LED leisure, search room, use as an example. So, yeah. So, LED was the company I showed you.
Give the full name so we can find it.
LED, Leisure Management Limited. Check out theirs, it's pretty good. So these are the 5 elements. You don't need to make it any more complicated than this. You've got a welcome. You need to set the expectations. You need to tell them how to use the bot. For some people, this is the first time they've ever engaged with a bot. They may have used live chat. I'm a big fan of live chat on websites. Most people don't realize that normally that first 5–10% of a live chat conversation is automated anyway. When they welcome you by name, and then they ask you a couple of questions. That's always automated, and then it will go off to a call handler. Does anybody else notice that? I use Vodafone. Fucking useless, live chat. But I can always tell that the call handler is not only just chatting to me, they're chatting to several other people. Because it takes them so bloody long to come back in between questions. And they owe me a £90 refund. What they should do now, and how to unsubscribe. How to unsubscribe is really, really important. And I'll say this throughout, it seems counterintuitive. With email, we don't specifically tell people every single time we send them an email how to unsubscribe, or every 3 emails how to unsubscribe. People kind of know now, it's normally hidden in the bottom. You remember the text is always a lot lighter, so it's really hard to read. Look how thick these glasses are, I just can't read it. I have to zoom in so I can just see the unsubscribe button. But what I would say with bots is give them that option immediately when they engage with the bot. You don't want them wasting your time, and you don't want to waste their time. And then, if I'm messaging them, every 3rd message is kind of what I put as best practice, just to remind them they can unsubscribe. My shopping centres are great at this. Because otherwise, they're sending out sponsored messages to people that don't want to get them because they don't know how to unsubscribe. So we remind them. What normally happens is, especially with the shopping centres, I don't know why it is, people unsubscribe, and then we do another campaign and they're back in again. And it's not like we send a lot of messages, once a week. Okay, so the welcome. Hello, first name. It is a selectable option when you're building it, so you don't ever get it wrong. Remember, Facebook has a real name policy. Thanks for joining us here in Messenger. Make it clear that they're in Messenger, because some people, I've had this in the early days when I didn't use to make it clear, they go, why are you messaging me? Tell them that they're speaking to a chatbot, virtual assistant, digital helper, whatever name you want to give it. Give it a personality. I worked with a rum distillery up in the very top of Scotland, and they built a whole character around their brand, and it had its own personality. So they were introduced to their little character from day one. Lego's chatbot has Ralph, or Ralphie. You know, if you've got the right type of brand, then you can have a little persona in there. But tell them they need to know that they're not chatting with a human. And I've seen this, and I totally get it, is they're chatting away, 2 minutes in, they click, they're not speaking to a human. And they feel stupid. And you don't want a customer to feel stupid because they'll never buy what you're selling. In California, a year and a half ago, they passed a law that all chatbots have to tell people they're a chatbot. Whether that's the right move, I don't know, but I kind of see it as best practice now. In fact, don't use the term chatbot, because people get confused about what a chatbot is anyway. Just tell them that it's just some way they know they're not speaking to a human. I'll help you find details about the activities on offer, the locations you can visit, and membership options. I'll tell them exactly what the bot can do. There's going to be no confusion. They're not going to go to the next window and type, how do I cancel my membership? Because that's a stupid example, because they do. They're not going to ask if they can bring their dog to the gym. Okay, they're not going to ask something stupid, because they know it's about details about the activities on offer, locations you can visit, and membership options. That's the thing that the bot can do. But they know there's an option to speak to humans. If you'd rather speak to a human, click below. This will take longer, especially during the evening and weekends. So we haven't had to do an out of office. We're just telling them that if your message is on a Sunday afternoon asking about swimming times, you're probably not going to hear anything back till Monday morning, Monday afternoon. And it just makes that clear. If you don't make that clear, honest to God, people will send a message. 30 seconds later, they'll go, hello. 30 seconds later, if you don't talk to me now, I'm going and I'm never coming back. I get to see all of the messages for all the brands I work with. And if you don't get it right, people go, hey, I had one 2 days ago. and the guy says, you've got 30 seconds or you're losing my sale. Because, unfortunately, the way they built their bots, they didn't make it clear that they weren't contactable on the weekend. I always kind of put this in. PS, you can unsubscribe at any time just by typing stop. The percentage of people that click that is minute at this stage. But at least you've told them. It's normally if they do type it, they go for your bot and then they type stop. They weren't looking for what you sell, or someone like me who's testing hundreds of bots every month. And then a little call to action, click continue to begin. You can say click something, type something. They're the only two options available to you in Messenger at the moment. Okay, so that you can go away and do that today. You can switch off those stupid answers. You can turn off your redundant out-of-office message, which you've copied from your email. And you can build a very simple welcome message. So when somebody clicks on send message to your button, firstly, you get them as a subscriber, and they feel welcomed. And if you're really clever, you can ask them a question. One of my nutritionists welcomes them in and does the welcome message. They click continue, and he simply says, what brought you here? That's the only question. What that person doesn't realize is as soon as they click that button, it's winged a message to him saying you're about to get a response from a real human. And he's sat there as the human, ready to engage. So they come in and they're saying, oh, I've got a wedding in 6 weeks, I'd like to lose 3 stone. And he can jump in as the human and just start having that sales conversation with them straight away. So this is the second thing you can start to do. Once you've built that welcome message, you can start adding this little button. Does this work? Yeah. This little send message button on your posts. A lot of people don't do this. So you go to craft your post, and then it's got lots of things, polls and all sorts. And one of them is get messages, only on your Facebook page, remember. Facebook business page. Click that send message, and I see a lot of these go out. And whenever I see one, I click that send message button, and I'm normally greeted with a blank Messenger window. So Messenger opens, and it's blank. What you can do is just hit them with your welcome message straight away. You start educating them about you. Welcome them by name. You start educating them about your business from a piece of content that you've created. That's such a simple thing to do. Nobody does it. So 2 bits of actionable content. Create your welcome message, less than 2 hours. If it takes you 2 hours, you're too slow. And then add that send message button. Just get into the habit of adding that in. You're going to drive more people into Messenger. You can start to introduce them to your business, start having a conversation, and you're going to build that number that is in your Messenger insights, the total messaging connections. They are your messaging connections. Nobody else can take your messaging connections unless that person has had a conversation with that other business. So they will never have the same list that you've got. That is your list. Okay, lead generation. This is the bit we need to focus on because this is the important bit. We're all looking to generate more business. We're all doing the same things. Fortunately, not a lot of people are doing Messenger, so it's a bit of a wild west out there, and there are some great opportunities. So everybody who's selling on Messenger today, and anybody who stands up on stage, and I've seen other people talk about messenger marketing, normally through YouTube videos, they talk chatbots, and they're focused on the kind of the customer service. That doesn't sell stuff, let's be honest. That's kind of it's a nice engagement, first interaction with a potential customer, a lead. What sells things is Facebook ads and messenger marketing. Clear? Have we got any Facebook ads experts in? People that are really good at this? One. Are you doing any of the messenger ads?
We have for dentists and for lawyers.
Dentists, absolute killer, yeah. Dentists, opticians, chiropractors, massage, there's those kind of places, bloody brilliant. And what's the rates like? They're good?
The open rates?
Yeah.
On a good day, anywhere above 85%.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So if you can use one of those 4 messenger ad types, one of them I've not used yet, but I know it exists. I've not actually seen one out in the wild yet. But you can use those messenger ad types connected to a good conversational experience on the back of it, meaning they see the ad, they click on the call to action, and then they have a good conversation. I think the latest stats I saw were anywhere between 10x and 40x from a traditional Facebook ad. So if you're putting a lot of money through ads at the moment, consider moving some of that to kind of conversational ads, messenger ads. I think you'll be absolutely amazed. Do some searching online on Google. There's some fantastic examples of what people have done. I'll actually show a couple of examples in a second. So the 4 messenger ad types. We've all seen messenger ads. They fall into your stream of conversations, and it just says ad. We've all seen them. They've got some limitations. You get that tiny little image. So you get the profile, photo, image, and then you get a tiny little image if there's an image within the conversation, within Messenger. And then you get enough for 4.5, 5 words. It's really it's not great. But they work. And people do click on them if they're relevant and if you've segmented your audience and you know who you're trying to hit. My favorite, the click to messenger ad. Do these all the time with clients. I think that's probably the guy over there. That's probably what you've been doing, isn't it? Click to messenger ads. I saw one recently for a company that does, what do you call it now, where they do whole dental replacement, veneers and all that kind of stuff. I don't understand that business. But basically, they do the whole lot, and they had these testimonial videos in a carousel, and then you would click in, and it would take you into a conversation. Because it's quite an expensive product, 6,000 to 10,000 quid, I think it was. It's something ridiculous. You're trying to sell a high-value item, but it's quite an emotional item as well. People care about their teeth, especially in America. And it would just drive them into a conversation. Nobody would buy that straight off an ad. Well, they might, but it's highly unlikely. But once you can start to have a conversation with them and try and drill in why they want these procedures doing, and then you can say to them, well, you know, we do offer payment plans. You know, here's some testimonials from people that have used our payment plans. You can have a really great conversation with people and sell. Click to messenger ads, they are so easy to do. They don't take any longer, I think, than a normal ad. So if you're running ads at the moment, use the same creative, the same copy, same targeting, but turn it into a messenger, click to messenger ad. Sponsored messages, my favorite. My favorite today, because they are dirt cheap. You can send 1,000 sponsored messages. Facebook say $30. I've done it for 8 quid. So 1,000 messages out, directly into Messenger, directly into the people that have already expressed an interest. Boom, straight in, nice offer. The open rates, as we said, if you get less than 80% open rate, you've done something wrong. Yes?
For sponsored messages, can you select a time? Can you actually pick your audience? Or?
No, it's got to be people that message your business. Yeah, so this is where, you know what I was saying about your audience is your audience? That's the way to do it. So click to messenger ads, drive them in, and then follow up with sponsored messages. So all of the campaigns you do, all the lead magnets, squeeze pages, everything you would normally do on email to build up your subscriber list, build up your messenger list. Because then you can hit them with some really great sponsored messages. What I love about sponsored messages, they don't look like an ad. They've changed slightly in the last month. Originally, a sponsored message would just look like a message from the business. It didn't say it was sponsor or an ad. You would click it, and then when you went in, it would say, sponsored message, you got this because of this. Now what it does is it actually just puts it, when you click on it, it puts it at the very top. In fact, before you click it, it just sits at the top, says this is a sponsored message, this is why you're getting it. It's one of the recent changes that Facebook made. Sponsored messages, your open rates, I can send out 1,000 and get 980 opens. It is phenomenal. Because they're expected. They've already expressed an interest in your brand, in your product, in your service. So you get massive open rates. And then finally, messenger stories ads. They've been live for about 3 or 4 months. I've not seen one out in the wild yet. But I think we all realize that stories are a thing. We've seen stories ads across products like Instagram and Facebook. I see no reason why a messenger stories ad cannot work with the right products. As soon as I see one, I will test it. Okay, so you're doing your messenger ads, whatever they are, what your objectives. So firstly, you need to gain them as a subscriber. Yes, they can unsubscribe, but what happens? They remain as a messenger connection. So you can advertise to them again in the future unless they choose to stop receiving ads. Then you cannot message them again. Conversation, and this is one of the most powerful bits, I think, of conversation, is you can qualify or disqualify people very, very quickly. They drop into Messenger, you ask them some questions, they give you some feedback, straight away you can make a decision. So I'm working on one at the moment for a care company in Wales. Their primary focus actually is a little bit of customer stuff, a little bit about what they do, but their actual focus is on recruitment, because that's their biggest challenge. They can do more of what they do, this care company, but they just can't get the staff. So they want to use messenger marketing as a way of attracting people in. First question it asks, do you have a valid UK driving licence? Because the carers have to travel. In Wales, public transport in Wales, not happening. So they ask that question. Straight away, if they say no, it disqualifies them from one of those roles and then tells them other roles that may be available within the company. Straight away. Not having to mess with those people. They're not going to get any adverts. We're not going to do any retargeting. They're not going to get anything about care jobs because they haven't got a valid UK driving licence. You can sell to them within Messenger, but as I've said before, unless it's a low-value item, you're probably not selling it. You know, Messenger is about ascertaining who they are, what they're interested in. Go with a, say, you know, if you're selling a pair of glasses, you're not going to sell a pair of glasses straight away. What you're going to do is drive them perhaps to a website. You can ask them what they're looking for. You know, I've seen some really good examples. Anybody played with Messenger AR yet, or augmented reality? Oh, one at the back. Brilliant. There's not many of us. So you would have no doubt seen this, where there was a shoe brand, a sneaker brand, as they call it in the States, and you would be in the conversation, you would pick the shoe you liked, and you would look through, and it would put the shoe on your foot. Now that will sell. And I think if you can stand in front of a mirror and put that suit on, that jacket, that T-shirt, I think that is potentially going to revolutionize. You know, I don't know if IKEA do something already, maybe, but you can actually pick a settee, then put it around your room and place it in. I think all that is going to be available within Messenger. It's going to be quite exciting. If you don't think that Messenger is gaining momentum, then you just need to do a bit of reading up. And then finally, re-engage. Now, there's Facebook. We've all probably done some Facebook advertising. You know how to remarket to people within Facebook, and it's exactly the same. You just re-engage, re-engage, re-engage. Drag them back into Messenger, continue the conversation. So let's have a look at what they look like. So the first one, Messenger ad. So you can see here, it just says ad. It's quite clear. There we go. It's an ad. As I was saying, because they've got their profile picture, and because the conversation, right at the start of the conversation, has got an image, it shows it, doesn't have to. And then you've got 4, 5 words. You've got to work really hard to make people interested in that if they're not part of your target audience. Some way to make them click through. So that's a typical Messenger ad. They work. I don't think they're the best performing, but I think it's a bit like email. If you get your targeting right, you've got your audience right, then you can increase your conversion rate. But that's a typical ad. And then we've got one of my favorites, click-to-messenger ads. So this one here, little call to action. There's about, probably get this wrong, I think there's about 16 different call to actions. Buy now, get offer, sign up. There's a load of them you can choose. They've got get started here. I don't think it's the best call to action. Nice little post. We've all seen these types of posts. And what it does, as soon as they click it, rather than going to a landing page, it goes straight into a conversation. And they've actually built some criteria here, find the nearest store and hours. Just Eat UK have done something similar. I live quite rurally, so I've not been able to test it because my postcode is not supported, but Just Eat have done something where have a nice offer, you click to Messenger ad, you go in, you can then put your postcode in, and then it will tell you the kind of foods you can get your own. You can buy literally right in there. What I like about food and restaurants, I've not worked with a restaurant yet. I think I've avoided them because I like food too much and it's too tempting, is restaurants can absolutely kill this. If you go to a restaurant, somebody's coming in, I think somebody might know better stats than me. Something like the return rate, someone to a restaurant, is 85% of people, or 80% of people, don't return within 3 months. So restaurants are always having to drive more business, when actually they could be hitting with a nice click-to-messenger ad when somebody's going in, get them to opt into Messenger, send them a nice click-to-messenger ad or sponsored message, and just make them an offer in Messenger. We hope you enjoyed your visit. because you know they've been in. We hope you enjoyed your visit. Here's a little coupon. You can use it within the next 30 days. I know of people in the States that are absolutely murdering it in restaurants and cafes using this approach. Click-to-messenger ads work really, really good. There's a sandwich seller in New York. He's kind of 800% his business just from using a messenger bot. Sponsored message, as I said, these are my current favorites. They just work. You know, as long as your targeting is good, they arrive in the inbox. And this is what I was saying about it arrives and it doesn't look like a sponsored message. There's nothing that really indicates it. Now there's a little thing at the top, it's quite grey. And if you're not looking for it, you probably won't see it. That says it's an ad. And when they click into it, off they go into the conversation, into the campaign. Messenger stories ads, that's all I'm going to say. I've not tested one. I've seen a video. You can go on Facebook and there's a video of it working. I just took a screenshot of it. It looks like any other stories ad, but obviously it fires you into message, fires you into a conversation. I think stories ads are going to be really important. Again, the guy who's using Facebook advertising, are you doing any stories ads? I think they're going to be huge. I think stories are starting to gain momentum. They're obviously big in Instagram, and I think they're starting to gain a bit of momentum within Facebook now. And everybody, I assume, got the update in the last couple of days to Messenger. They're really pushing stories now within Messenger. So I think you're going to see that growing. Okay, 13 minutes remaining, so I better whack through these. Okay, so what I did is I just did a quick search yesterday. Again, I always update these, looking for where people are not using a bot, and a bot would have been better. WP Engine, anybody use the product? Nope. Basically, you click on the Learn More. Oh, 1 second. You click on Learn More. Ends up on a web view. Really clunky, quite, you know, you're obviously getting the cookie and privacy thing on a I hate that on a mobile. And then you have to go down, and then you've got to fill out a form. Who fills out forms on mobiles? Nobody. Too much friction. With a simple bot, I could have collected a name and an email. And even a phone number. People, I don't know what it is with Messenger, people give their phone numbers over really easily. Next one is this thing called Filed. Again, you can see that it was a sponsored message, sponsored ad, clicked a Messenger ad, learn more, clicked it, the web view didn't work, lost the sale. Again, if you've gone straight into Messenger, works every time. Another one, Taboola. I like the creative. I think it's really nice. Call to action, I went in, and it was the website, and it just felt clunky. Whereas you could have said, you know, you could have started asking them questions, you can send to the website later. You could have got some really important customer data from a conversation there and then. HubSpot, everything, yes.
So within Messenger, do you detect whether it's being displayed on a mobile or a desktop? You might want to set different contexts. If you display the message on the desktop, it might be a different experience to if you're displaying it in a mobile phone.
No, you can't, unfortunately. I wish you could, because you can design the conversations very differently. So HubSpot, everybody's heard of HubSpot. I'm sure there's plenty of users in here. So just kind of sticking with the traditional, click to Messenger ad, learn more, and then it just basically, as HubSpot does with their lead magnets, just asks you for business size, name, email. Yeah, it's all the same things they ask for. And again, it's a form, and who wants to fill out a form on an iPhone or an Android phone? It's just not an enjoyable experience. Whereas if it had been a conversation, and a lot of people don't realize this, it'll say, oh, thanks for asking. Can I ask a few questions about your business? They say no. Give them the download anyway. It's just a nicer experience. They say, yeah, just ask the bare minimum. Don't forget, you can follow up within a couple of hours and ask them for a bit more detail based on what answers they gave. Okay, a couple of case studies. Lego. Anybody use the Lego chatbot? Oh, yes, brilliant. So that's Ralph. I think it's really clever. They spent a lot of time on it. It just works. So they're kind of the impact of that. They saw a 3.4x higher return on ad spend for click-to-messenger ads compared to ads that are linked to the Lego website. So an ad to the website performed worse than an ad that went straight into Messenger. 71% lower cost per purchase and a 1.9x higher value for website purchases made from click to messenger. I don't know the psychology of that. Why is it a higher return? I don't know. but it's interesting. If you get a chance, go and search it out and have a little play with it. It's quite nice. This one I'd never heard of, Alorica, Philippines. So they do recruitment. I think Messenger for recruitment is absolute gold. People aren't doing it, and I don't know why. I think it's because they use their kind of recruitment systems, and they don't think that they can integrate Messenger into that, and they can, they really can. So 3x increase in candidates that are interviewed, save 12,000 work hours, 84% lower cost per hire, that's good. And 50% average conversion rate compared to other channels which averaged out at 5%. Right, let's talk about re-engagement. So sale or no sale. And this is where I think a lot of marketers fail, is they have a punt, have a campaign, they don't make the sale, they give up, they move on to another audience. And I think with Messenger, it's really good you can engage. So we're always looking to how we can re-engage people back into the conversation, back into Messenger. If you want to, you can use a custom audience, which is people who interacted with your page in Messenger. So hit them with any of the ad types because they've messaged your page at some time. It doesn't have to be in Messenger. You can hit them with any ad type. And then you just keep, do your Facebook remarketing. This is not rocket science. If they've engaged with you in Facebook Messenger, you can re-engage with them across the whole platform of Facebook. Stop looking for page likes. Don't know why everybody's still doing that. It's pointless. Okay, this one actually arrived in the past week. I said about trampoline parks. Flip Out is I think there's 30 of them or so around the country, franchise. This is the only one out of the lot, and I went through all of them and tested all their messages. This is the only one that I really got it down. So they sent me a message, which was a sponsored message. Oh, come on, it stopped working. You can see I've circled it. Sponsored message, and then when I clicked on it, that was the response I got. 50% flyer, sale, claim my offer. I obviously clicked the button, claim the offer, and did all that. But very simple, quite effective. Doesn't work for every brand, but for those kind of family-friendly, child-friendly venues, works brilliantly. Today, 4th of March, don't know why these two have tied in together, the whole policy around messenger marketing has changed. I'm not going to explain it here because it always ends up as a flan fight of everybody arguing with me about what you can and can't do in Messenger. They've updated their policy. If you want to have a look at it, do. But it changed today. And if you don't follow the policies, your messages don't get sent anymore. Learn to segment your audience in your Messenger chats. Most people don't do it, and they should. Sponsored messages are easy, and they're cheap. As I said, Facebook say average about $30 per 1,000 messages. I'm averaging somewhere between 8 and 12 quid. It's not expensive to get 1,000 messages out to people. And think about a remarkable offer. That offer's all right. It works, 15% off. And if it just so happened I wanted to do something with the kids at the weekend, that would work. Other channels. I'm a big fan of omni-channel marketing. I hate the term, but it is what it is. Get them in Messenger and then start hitting them on other channels. This is where things like Integromat and Zapier and other kind of products really work. So you can then start email marketing to them, Google Ads, all the other bits that you want to do. It works. Email and SMS. Email is not dead. Messenger marketers keep saying this. I hate it. Email is brilliant if it's done well. Link it together with your Messenger campaigns, and it's absolute gold. And then think about SMS. Most people ignore SMS. I think definitely for events like this, SMS is an absolute winner. I get so many messages from businesses trying to sell to me, I hardly ever get an SMS. If one comes from Einstein Marketer saying sign up now for 2021, and it comes as a text, I'm more likely to take action there and then. And obviously with all marketing, especially re-engagement, it should be relevant and expected. So this is what I was talking about, different calls to action, messenger ads. Similar, when I was saying before about if you're already doing a lot of Facebook ads, and I know people are putting tens of thousands a month into ads, think about just moving a little bit of that spend and do some testing with messenger-driven ads. I think people will be pleasantly surprised what you can achieve. And we're kind of dealing real. So launch these messenger ads along the other ads that you're doing. Same creative, same copy, same audience if possible, and then have a look and see what your returns are like. And now, 5 minutes left. That's what I wanted to achieve for the questions. And I'll take some questions, and I think there are mics flying around.
Hello. You talked about on one of the ads that you shown it wasn't a very good call to action button. What are your kind of favourites out of that 12 or 13 options that there are for a messenger ad?
I think most people opt for the learn more. It just seems almost be like a default that people go for. But there are 16, and it depends what you're doing. You know, for something like a trampoline park, get offer every time. Just works. There's no confusion. They know what they're clicking the button to get. You know, or a restaurant. Dentist, whatever it might be, something where you're selling something there and then, relatively low value, just get offer. It works great for cafes, I know, events even.
Thanks.
Yep.
So in terms of integrations, you were saying that people aren't super keen about... Hello.
Where are you? I can't see you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
They were saying that people aren't super keen about filling out forms on mobile. So does this mean in terms of integration that through a messenger bot, someone can, without a form, tell the bot their details, you know, phone, email, whatever, and then can the bot pass that to your CRM system?
100%.
Amazing.
It's really,
and
really
can you
easy.
integrate downloads as well directly into a chatbot?
As in, what, a PDF or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, there and then. Yeah.
Amazing.
And you can deliver video up to, they say, 20 megabytes. And to be quite honest, on phone screen, you can downgrade it right down. So you can put quite a long video in. But I tend to, for remarketing purposes, I tend to perhaps give a little 20, 30-second video and then a little button, a little call to action, watch the remainder, and they go off to a landing page so you can start then hitting them with a pixel and bits and bobs. But yeah exactly that. There are some products that are supported out of the box with something like ManyChat, but then there's lots of other products out there that will link you into your CRMs.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.
Just to extend on that a little bit as well, that's a strategy that we did in Messenger, Jim. We've worked really well for one of our clients. So we were getting Messenger leads for around 60 to 70 pence. But what we wanted was the email, because one thing that Jim said is really, really important is email still works. It's fantastic. And it was really important for us to get them on an email list as well. So as part of the automation, what we had was another offer that they could get if they entered their name and email. And obviously, we used ManyChat for that. But that auto-filled it in the bot as well. And when they submitted it, just with a really simple API connection, that sent it straight to our CRM, so we were collecting the emails. And it worked out about 40 to 50% of the people that were on our messenger list actually gave us their email as well. So we were getting leads, an email lead for under £2 and a messenger lead as well. Just thought I'd add that then.
Microphone is off. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
we've got
thank you. Would you use Messenger ads to drive registrations to a webinar or an event?
Yes, I see it all the time.
How would you integrate Messenger ad with the form that they actually have to fill up?
So I wouldn't get them to fill out a form. I would collect those details. It depends how many details you want, but if it's 4 or 5 bits of information, really quick and easy, and this is why I like asking in Messenger, because it's really quick. So you say, can I take your email? Well, you got their name anyway, because real name policy. You say, can I take an email? It will often pre-populate that email, so they just tap it. And then it will say, can I take your preferred phone number? And it will pop up with normally their mobile number, 80% of the time. Okay. They'll just click it, but if they want to, they can just enter in an office number, for example. So you could take some details off them and then ask for deeper, more important information, size of business, what sector they work in, all that, via email. And then you just combine that data. It's just it's a nicer experience. I think removing the friction is where Messenger is really good at sign-ups. And then, because of the new one-time notification, which is in beta but usable, you just apply for it and you get it within a couple of hours. That one-time notification, you haven't got to worry about having to spend money outside after 24 hours to re-engage with them, because they've said, I want to know more details about that webinar. So, I can't remember what it is now, one-time notification. There's a limit, I think, 60 days.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, good. Any more questions, guys? Oh, well, yep, over here.
Hi, I was just interested in your comments about LinkedIn, because obviously you were kind of like suggesting that it's probably a tired platform now, and yet there are other messages that I hear that actually LinkedIn is kind of like the platform to go to now for this sort of stuff as well. And I just wanted to understand your thoughts on LinkedIn a little bit more.
I love LinkedIn. Let's just make that clear. I think it does really well for networking. I get speaking gigs like this. I've got a really strong network. I often clean up that network because it gets a bit large and a bit untidy. What I don't like is how people that are market, I won't even call them marketers, people that are trying to market to me in LinkedIn don't use LinkedIn ads, they use LinkedIn chat. And it's impersonal, and if they are from America and it says they are CEO or COO of a web company, I never ever accept them, because I know 2 minutes later I get the same text that I got off the other 50 web companies. It's the exact replica, word for word, except the examples of their work are different. And I know they're all using the same system. They haven't hunted me down because they really want to work with me. They're just trying to sell me. I ain't got time to mess about with those people. So I just don't accept them. I might have done myself out of some business, but it makes my life less stressful. But I do love LinkedIn. LinkedIn's brilliant. LinkedIn doesn't have bots yet, so I'm ignoring it.
Okay, thanks.
Any more questions, guys? We'll take one more question on the end there, then.
You said about the conversation designer course that
Yes.
you've done, and I didn't catch the name of the website.
Robocopy.io.
Lovely, thank you very much.
Honestly, if you want to learn about building conversations, not only chatbots, of which, we've spoken about messenger marketing here, but there is a lot of platforms that you can build chatbots on. I've seen them in Slack, Line, Kik, a lot of products perhaps we don't use so much here. And don't forget this redesign of Messenger, which is a lot quicker. Has anybody used a new Messenger? There's a few bits I don't like about it, but it's a lot quicker. And most of their drive behind doing that is not what they're saying, it's what they're planning, which is they want to make Messenger, Instagram chat, and WhatsApp interoperable for services. We know WhatsApp bots are in beta now, so I can go online and find companies that are in that beta, and they will build a bot in WhatsApp. So WhatsApp for business bots, fantastic. And we know, and I've seen some screenshots from the dev team, that bots are coming to Instagram. So you'll be, not only if I'm an Instagram user, will I be able to chat to someone on Messenger, as a business owner, I'll be able to market with chatbots across all 3 products. I would expect WhatsApp to come first, and then Instagram to follow shortly after. But, which is great, so we need to learn how to develop our conversational design skills. But honestly, I get really excited about Alexas and Google Homes and those. And if you understand conversational design, you can design for voice-driven technologies as well. And we all know, can I just have a show of hands? Who has got a voice-activated device at home that's not their phone? Whoa, that's good. We are slightly more tech-happy people here. But I would say there was a good 70% of people in here have got some kind of voice-driven device at home. If you can learn conversational design for those, go and have a look at what they're hiring you for. Just go on, not so much in the UK because we're way behind, but in Europe and in the US, they pay good money for good conversational designers, especially around voice. That's it.
Anyone that you would recommend for that? You mentioned about the WhatsApp one.
Yes.
Obviously, for Messenger, Facebook Messenger, we've got like ManyChat, things like that. The ones that are coming out for WhatsApp, because I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
Is there any ones that you would already recommend that you know of?
So no. So they're working specifically with marketing partners at the moment who would create them using the written code. So ManyChat will support WhatsApp. They've already said. And
excellent.
Mobile Monkey. Chatfuel, all of those, they're all waiting for WhatsApp to go live. It's such a great product, and being able to use a chatbot within that, it's going to be absolute gold. I love it.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jim Rowe, please. Come on.
Thank you, Rob.